of Dixie, 2011, cast then and now. Remember the charm of Bluebell, Alabama? That cozy little town where gossip traveled faster than the mail and every character felt like family? Yep, we're talking Hart of Dixie. It's been over a decade since we first met Zoe Hart, Lemon Breland, Wade Kinsella, and the rest of the gang who turned a sleepy southern town into a TV escape we never wanted to leave. Ever wondered what happened to the faces behind Bluebell? Well, buckle up, because we're about to rewind the clock, relive the magic, and reveal where the stars of Hart of Dixie are now. Some soared to Hollywood heights, others took unexpected turns, and a few just might surprise you. Rachel Bilson as Dr. Zoe Hart. Back in 2003, Rachel appeared in small roles on shows like Buffy the Vampire Slayer and 8 Simple Rules. But her big break came the same year when she was cast as Summer Roberts on the OC. With her quick wit and signature smirk, she quickly became America's TV sweetheart. But she didn't stop at just stealing hearts in Orange County. In 2006, she made her film debut opposite Zach Braff in the romantic comedy The Last Kiss. That same year, she jumped, quite literally, into the action genre with the sci-fi thriller Jumper, sharing the screen with then-boyfriend Hayden Christensen. Their off-screen romance added a splash of Hollywood buzz around her name. Fast forward to 2011, and she swapped California for Alabama as she took on the role of Dr. Zoe Hart in Hart of Dixie. With a wardrobe full of heels and a heart full of ambition, Rachel's performance brought style, sass, and soul to the small town of Bluebell. The series ran for 4 seasons, and many fans still consider it comfort TV gold. After the show wrapped, she kept her presence alive with appearances in shows like Take Two and Nashville, and even led the rom-com series Love Struck in 2019. But perhaps her most unexpected move? Podcasting. In 2022, she launched Broad Ideas with Rachel Bilson, a raw, hilarious, and surprisingly deep podcast co-hosted with longtime friend Olivia Allen, where no topic is off limits. These days, at 43, Rachel still looks effortlessly chic. She's not just a mom and actress, she's a full-on content creator and fashion icon. With 1.6 million Instagram followers, she keeps fans in the loop with her latest ventures, throwback pics, and behind-the-scenes glimpses of her life. Wilson Bethel as Wade Kinsella. Remember the broody yet lovable Wade Kinsella from Hart of Dixie? Yeah, the guy with the killer smile and southern swagger? That was Wilson Bethel, and trust us, he's had quite the journey since he hung up his bartender apron. Before stealing hearts in Bluebell, Bethel got his feet wet in teen drama waters, making his TV debut on the OC. He didn't stop there. 2008 brought his gritty film debut in 1968 Tunnel Rats, where he played a battle-hardened special ops soldier. That role showed us he wasn't just a pretty face. This guy had serious acting chops. Soap fans might also remember his brief but notable run as Ryder Callahan on The Young and the Restless in 2009. And things just kept leveling up. He dove into courtroom chaos on How to Get Away with Murder, appeared on stage in The Last Match, and then he suited up as Bullseye in Marvel's Daredevil. Talk about switching gears. But that's not all. From 2019 to 2023, he brought intensity and charisma to the role as Deputy D.A. Mark Callan in All Rise, even stepping behind the camera to direct an episode. And guess what? He's not done yet. Bethel's back as Bullseye in Daredevil Born Again, set to shake things up in 2025 and beyond. Now 41, Wilson's swapped the small-town vibe for superhero grit, proving his range knows no bounds. And while he's more under the radar on social media, fans still follow his every move with admiration. One thing's for sure, this guy's career is anything but slowing down. Jamie King as Lemon Breland. Before she became the sassy and sharp-tongued Lemon Breland on Hart of Dixie, Jamie King was already a force in the fashion world. Discovered at just 14, she was gracing the pages of Vogue, Harper's Bazaar, and Mademoiselle, while most teens were still figuring out high school. By the late 90s, she'd stepped into Hollywood and never looked back. Her breakout came with Pearl Harbor in 2001, followed by her first leading role in Bulletproof Monk. Over the years, she's kept things exciting with roles in cult favorites like White Chicks, Sin City, and even the all-star heist flick Ocean's 8. Post Hart of Dixie, Jamie didn't slow down. She brought the thrills in Black Summer on Netflix and returned to the horror scene in Lights Out in 2024. She's also lent her voice to Star Wars: The Clone Wars and taken on gritty roles in action-packed indies like Out of Death and Codename Banshee. Today, Jamie's still turning heads both on-screen and on social. With 1.5 million followers on Instagram and over 3 decades in the spotlight, she's not just surviving Hollywood, she's owning it. Oh, and as for age, she's rocking 46 like it's the new 30. Cress Williams as Lavon Hayes. Every good southern town needs a mayor with a heart, and Bluebell found that in Lavon Hayes, brought to life by the charismatic Cress Williams. But long before he was sipping sweet tea and playing referee to Zoe and Lemon's drama, Cress was building a rock-solid resume in Hollywood, one guest role at a time. His acting journey began in the early 90s with his first on-screen appearance in 1993's Beverly Hills 90210. From there, he carved a path through some of the biggest shows of the decade: Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Living Single, Lois and Clark, and NYPD Blue. By the time the early 2000s rolled around, Cress had become that familiar face you always recognized, whether in Grey's Anatomy, ER, or The West Wing. Then in 2011, everything changed. Hart of Dixie premiered, and Cress finally got a role that wasn't just recurring, it was iconic. As Lavon Hayes, he was warm, loyal, and a little larger than life. Fans adored him, but he wasn't done yet. In 2018, he suited up for something entirely different: Black Lightning on the CW. This wasn't just another superhero show. Cress brought depth, soul, and gravitas to Jefferson Pierce, a teacher by day and vigilante by night. His run lasted until 2021, and he even made a powerful return in The Flash's Armageddon arc. Today, Cress is still in the game, with over 144,000 fans following his journey on Instagram. And as for his age, let's just say he's got 54 candles on the cake, and each one's glowing with experience, style, and staying power. Scott Porter as George Tucker. He wasn't just the charming lawyer next door in Hart of Dixie. Scott Porter brought George Tucker to life with that irresistible Southern charm and quiet vulnerability. But before he was caught in the middle of Bluebell's love triangles, Scott was grinding away on the stage and screen, building a career brick by brick. His journey kicked off on the off-Broadway stage in 2004, starring as Matthew in the hit musical Altar Boys. That same heart and energy soon landed him a role in the soap opera As the World Turns in 2006, where he briefly took over as Casey Hughes. But Hollywood was already calling. By 2007, Scott made a splash in music and lyrics as the frontman of the hilariously fake pop band Pop. Yes, he was the guy dancing in glitter and tight pants. A year later, he kicked it up a notch as Rex Racer in Speed Racer in 2008, showing his action chops and landing on the radar of casting directors everywhere. Then came the game changer Friday Night Lights. From 2006 to 2011, Scott shined as Jason Street, a role that earned him serious critical praise. And just when you thought he couldn't get more versatile, along came Hart of Dixie in 2011, where he played George Tucker for 4 delightful seasons. After Bluebell, Scott dove headfirst into voice acting. He gave life to Luke in The Walking Dead Season 2 in 2013, Lucas in Minecraft Story Mode, and even Colt Cruz in Madden NFL 18's Cinematic Mode. Most recently, he voiced the cunning Heimdall in God of War Ragnarok in 2022, proving that he can handle action, heart, and mythological drama with equal ease. And in 2024, he surprised everyone as the mysterious Gumball on The Masked Singer, finishing runner-up and showing fans he's got pipes too. Now at 46, Scott isn't slowing down. With 829,000 followers on Instagram, he's still charming audiences, only now he's doing it across genres, platforms, and realities. Caitlin Black as Annabeth Nass. Caitlin Black didn't just stumble into the spotlight, she earned it, one guest role at a time. Her career began quietly in the mid-2000s with early TV appearances like Floaters in 2006 and Cold Case in 2009, where she played Betty Jo Henders in a gripping 1944 set episode. Those years were all about grit and hustle, hopping from one-episode roles in shows like Traffic Light, Raising Hope, and NCIS, each time leaving a memorable impression despite limited screen time. But then in 2011, everything changed. That's when Caitlin landed the role that would make fans fall in love. Annabeth Nass on Hart of Dixie. Starting as a recurring character in seasons 1 and 2, her warmth, humor, and southern charm quickly turned her into a fan favorite. By season 3, she was upgraded to series regular, proving that persistence pays off in Hollywood. From 2011 to 2015, Caitlin breathed life into Annabeth, transforming her from sidekick to standout. Post Hart of Dixie, she kept the momentum going with performances in Officer Down in 2013, NCIS New Orleans in 2016, and Lifetime thrillers like Baby Napped and Killer Single Dad, showing she could switch between genres with ease. Now standing tall at 41 years wise, Caitlin's journey from fleeting cameos to meaningful lead roles is proof that talent and tenacity never go out of style. Tim Matheson as Dr. Brick. Long before he wore the white coat as Dr. Brick Breland in Hart of Dixie, Tim Matheson was already a familiar face and voice in American entertainment. His career kicked off at the tender age of 13 when he played Roddy Miller in Window on Main Street back in 1961. While most kids were learning to ride bikes, young Tim was already holding his own on screen. By the late 60s, his voice brought to life one of animation's most iconic adventures, Johnny Quest. And if that wasn't enough, the world met a more mischievous side of him in 1978 when he embodied the smooth-talking Eric Otter Stratton in the comedy cult classic National Lampoon's Animal House, a role that still echoes in pop culture to this day. But Tim wasn't just about laughs. In the early 2000s, he stepped into the sharp political world of The West Wing, portraying Vice President John Hoynes. His performance earned him not one, but 2 Emmy nominations for Outstanding Guest Actor in a Drama Series, proving his depth as an actor. Then came Hart of Dixie from 2011 to 2015, where his portrayal of the gruff yet lovable Dr. Brick Breland won over a whole new generation of fans. But Tim didn't stop there. Since 2019, he's been warming hearts as Doc Mullins in Netflix's hit drama Virgin River. Today, with a career spanning over 6 decades, Tim Matheson isn't slowing down. At a youthful 77 years seasoned, he's not just a legend, he's living proof that great talent only grows richer with time. Claudia Lee as Magnolia Breland. She may have played the feisty and fashionable Magnolia Breland in Hart of Dixie, but Claudia Lee's journey to stardom began far from the small southern town of Bluebell. It all kicked off in 2010, when a then teenaged Claudia made her screen debut in the short film The Circus Girl. That tiny role opened the door to bigger things, and soon she landed a spot in Disney XD's skateboarding comedy Zeke and Luther. But her real breakthrough came in 2011, when she stepped into the shoes of Lemon's rebellious little sister in Hart of Dixie, a role that showcased her sass, charm, and undeniable screen presence. While juggling acting, Claudia also dipped into music, releasing pop country tracks that showed off her vocal chops. But she wasn't done with acting just yet. In 2012, she leveled up with a role in the action-packed film Kick-Ass 2, based on the wildly popular graphic novel. 2 years later, she brought laughs to Fox's sitcom Surviving Jack in 2014. And by 2018, she returned to the screen in Freeform's Famous in Love, playing a recurring role that proved her staying power in the biz. Now Claudia Lee is a radiant 29 years young, still glowing with potential and evolving as an artist. From teenage starlet to versatile performer, her journey's just getting started, and Hollywood is still watching. McKaylee Miller as Rose Hattenbarger. Her first real taste of the spotlight came back in 2006, starring in the TV movie Inspector Mom alongside Danica McKellar. It was a small role, but the spark was there. She went on to appear in a few indie projects, slowly building her resume. Then came 2011, and Disney fans got to know her as Talia, Max Russo's quirky love interest on Wizards of Waverly Place. Just a 3-episode run, but enough to make an impression. After that, McKaylee's career took a more serious turn. In 2013, she showed up in the chilling crime film The Iceman, playing the daughter of none other than Winona Ryder. It was a big leap, and she nailed it. She didn't stop there. In 2014, she joined the short-lived sitcom Partners, and then made waves on MTV's Awkward as a love interest for Maddie McKibben. By 2015, she was slicing into horror territory with a guest spot on Scream Queens as the ill-fated Sophia. And now, in 2025, she returned to our screens in Dexter: Resurrection, a gritty, dramatic role that proves McKaylee's range just keeps growing. At 29 years old, with 91,000 Instagram followers, McKaylee's no longer the teen next door. She's a versatile actress making her own rules, one bold performance at a time. And there you have it, the journey from Bluebell to beyond. If you enjoyed this nostalgic ride, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss new videos.